Alright, what's going on, everybody? C4 here doing a very quick player grades live video as I don't have time to really upload something. So I figured this is pretty much the easiest way to do it. It's only going to be, like I said, we're only going to be for 10-15 minutes or so. And then after this later tonight, instead of watching a terrible primetime game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Oakland Raiders, I will be live streaming a rebuild. It'll probably be in about an hour's time because after this video is done, it has to process before I can, start another stream. But once that is going, follow me on Twitter. I got a new Twitter handle. We will get it going. So we are going on our player game for the Philadelphia Eagles 34-29 victory over the New York Giants. And, I will talk about what just happened in the Pittsburgh and Patriot game. That's the reason why this isn't out earlier, because I wanted to watch that. Obviously, that's like a playoff game, playoff quality football. But we'll get through the Eagles first. So, quick thoughts on this game is Nick Foles, we're in good hands, but also what is going on with the defense? That was absolutely horrendous. You saw how the defense played against the Giants the very first time we played them. They ran the exact same game plan, and it looked like it took us by surprise. It looked like we weren't prepared for them to just run the same slant play like you're playing a 13-year-old in Madden for the first time. You know what I'm saying? And it was very, very frustrating not to see those sorts of adjustments. And I do believe that there has been a lot of momentum, if you will, behind Jim Schwartz getting a head coaching job. And with the defensive performance that he put up today, I don't think he's going to get that head coaching job anymore. So let's jump into some grades very, very quickly. For the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Foles went 24-38 for 237 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks on the day. I mean, we look like we're in good hands. We look like we are in... he's not going to put that up against every defense. The Giants defense is kind of limping in. I mean, the Raiders defense is no better, so I would expect another good performance from Nick Foles, really until he finishes up the season. But playoff football is a lot different than playing the Giants, Raiders, and Cowboys, and that is where it all is really going to matter. But what I saw to Nick Foles today is a guy that, they didn't have to change the offense up a whole lot. There's maybe a sack or a play or two that Carson Wentz would have made, but other than that, he didn't leave a whole lot on the field. Like, I would say if Carson Wentz was in this game, he would probably have 4 touchdowns as well. Like, it's not like, if Wentz was playing, he would have 6 touchdowns or anything like that. The drop-off between these two quarterbacks, at least on today, in my opinion, wasn't too significant. So at least going forward, most Philadelphia Eagle fans should have some faith here in Carson Wentz. So looking at the running game, Jai had 12 attempts for 49 yards, 7 for 21 for Blunt, 2 for 21 for Clement, and 4 for 17 for Burner or something. Either way, we did not run the ball as well as I would have liked. We had to throw the ball almost 40 times to Nick Foles, which wasn't ideal, but putting Nick Foles in that type of precarious position, having to throw the ball and kind of abandon what you would assume would be the Philadelphia Eagles game plan, I mean, they did good, and I definitely think Jai needs to get more than 12. Blunt having 7 is far too many. Blunt should only come in at the end of the game when you're trying to kill off clock. So grades, Nick Foles gets an A. The run game as a whole, I would say, gets a C+ on the day. Looking at the wide receivers, Nelson Aguilar had 7 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. Zach Ertz, 6 for 56 and a touchdown. Alshon, 4 for 49 and a touchdown. Jai had 2 for 40. Trey Burton had 2 catches for 15 yards and a touchdown as well. So the way that they were spreading the ball around for the Philadelphia Eagles was completely acceptable. Wide receivers are getting a B+ grade. Aguilar's he had a really bad drop and then came back with a couple big plays. Aguilar is definitely having a breakout season. Nice to have Ertz back in there, and Alshon is a beast and looking like he's worth every penny that we paid to re-sign him. Special teams was good. Jake Elliott's a beast. Return game had a couple good returns from Barner. Donnie Jones was solid, so we'll give the special teams a B. Looking at the defense, on the other hand, defense gets an F. That was the worst defensive position I have seen anything. All the positions. Linebackers, D-line, secondary, safeties, they all played terrible. The only guy I would say on that team that did not have a terrible game probably would be Brandon Graham. He was probably the only guy that was serviceable. Nigel Brad was missing tackles left, right, and center. Michael Kendrick's missing tackles. Ronald Darby had a nightmare of a game. Malcolm Jenkins has had a nightmare of a season. He has not been good at all. Actually, you know what? I'm going to revert that. Special teams gets an A+ because they have the 3 blocks. The blocked field goal, block punt, and block extra point. My mistake on that. But the defense as a whole was absolutely terrible. I'm going to just try to credit to playing on the road against a team that, you're not going to run across a team that's going to play the same type of game plan that the Giants are. The Giants just abandoned the run from the first play and threw the ball almost 60 times. And you're not going to see that. Playoff football, it's not, unless teams really outright. You could maybe see the Saints just somehow doing that. You think, oh, yeah, we got to stop Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. And the Saints just straight up throw the ball. But I feel like the defense absolutely next week at home on Christmas Day against the Raiders, they need to ball out, or else I have no faith. That is a defense that is one and done in the playoffs. Everyone was coming in saying, myself included, the run game and the defense need to step up to lighten the load on Nick Foles. And what we looked at there today, Nick Foles was carrying the load, and the defense threw up an absolute goose egg. So I'm going to be very eager to see how the defense responds, because there's too much talent on the defense to show what happened there today. That was really, really bad. I don't know if what we saw today means that Sidney Jones is going to get rushed back into the starting lineup, or he looks like he's ready. Everything looks like he's ready. It's going to be more so getting him more comfortable with the playbook. But I'm going to say, when I saw last night, especially with Patrick Robinson going down with an injury, if Patrick Robinson's gone, I mean, you do have Rasul Douglas, who's played very, very well, but maybe that's, maybe we'll see Sidney Jones active next week against the Raiders. That we could only hope. And last grade goes to Doug Peterson, the head coach. I'm actually giving Doug B+, A-, somewhere in that range. He had a tremendous task in trying to replace the production from Carson Wentz, and Nick Foles came in without missing a beat. Like I said, there's maybe 2 or 3 plays that Carson Wentz would have made a positive play where Nick Foles didn't, but for the most part, I mean, Doug had a game plan, and he maximized the strengths of Nick Foles. 4 touchdowns. Anytime your quarterback, that's your backup, comes in, throws for almost 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, the game should not be as close as it was. So all the negatives fall on Jim Schwartz on the defensive side of the ball. Dougler did a phenomenal, phenomenal job. So overall, it's good. A win's a win. And as I said on Twitter, it's like kind of the mantra of a really good team to win games you're not supposed to win. And that segues into the game that I just quickly want to talk about. It has nothing to do with the player grades of the Philadelphia Eagles. And that is the end of the Steelers and Patriots game. That's, like I said, that's the reason why this didn't come right after the Philadelphia Eagles game, because obviously I want to watch that, and it's what I'm saying, it wasn't a catch. I was pulling against the Patriots so hard in that game. I hate the Patriots. I like the Steelers. Steelers are usually my de facto team if the Eagles get eliminated, and I like to see them win, especially with Antonio Brown getting down. I know Steeler fans out there, it's almost as big of a shot to the pills as when Carson Wentz tore his ACL. Doesn't look like it'll be as serious for Antonio Brown, but when you saw that catch, by the definition of that stupid rule, if he bobbles it, it's not a catch. So I think it all comes down to how bad that rule is, because that clearly should have been a touchdown. There is no realm of possibility where that happens in a game that's not a touchdown. The whole thing of establishing possession and stuff like that and maintaining it, it needs to get fixed. I think it was an exciting game as a neutral. Ultimately, it was a very exciting game to watch. But I think if I'm a Steelers fan, I would feel pretty gutted that I lost. Like, it was one of those things, if that play stood up, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of Patriot fans going, oh my God, how that clearly wasn't a catch or anything like that, versus the implication of a Steelers fan looking at it as like, how wasn't that a catch? And then with Ben Roethlisberger throwing the interception on the next play, that was a very, very tough loss for you Steelers fans. So I feel for you, Patriot fans. Just, how will you face some real adversity? I know Edelman's been down, but you still have the best quarterback and the best tight end in football. Boo-hoo. You guys are going to be just fine. But, you know what? Ultimately, man, that was a good game. Patriots, I can't say Patriots deserved to win that game, but Patriots look very, very strong. Good bounce back game from them after they lost to the Miami Dolphins last week. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, I might as well. I'm not going to do it right now because I got to get ready for the rebuild that's coming up after this. Maybe on Sunday nights, I'll just talk about all the games really, really quickly here in a grade stream. Someone's talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. What is he, 3-0 right now for the Niners? That's absolutely crazy. But there you go. Those are your player grades for the Philadelphia Eagles over the New York Giants. Next week, we have the Raiders on Christmas Day, which is going to be very good, very nice on a Monday night. After the Steelers play Houston. I mean, the Raiders, I'm going to get a little bit of an opportunity to see the Raiders. I assume that the rebuild stream will be over before the end of that game, so we can see what the Raiders do. Hopefully the Raiders can do a solid and just knock the Dallas Cowboys right out of playoff contention. I think that would be very nice for them to do it. But, we will see. But I feel confident. I feel confident Nick Foles going forward. And you need to remember yourself. For any of you guys that were aware and followed the Eagles, maybe last time Nick Foles was a starter for Philly, he threw 7 touchdowns in one game the last time he saw the Raiders. So that would be my own personal Christmas present to me if somehow, some way, Nick Foles could throw 7 touchdowns once again against the Oakland Raiders. That'd be dope. But, yeah, guys, what I'm going to do after this, like I said, this video, it's only going to be like 10, 11 minutes or whatever long. So once it's done processing, I am going to be doing a Chip Kelly rebuild as a part of the 12 rebuilds of Christmas. So, yeah, if you've never seen a Chip Kelly rebuild, it's going to be pretty good. But for those of you that know, I need to do a little bit of preparation before I start doing a Chip Kelly rebuild. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise. I kind of let a little leak out of what team it's going to be on Twitter. But, yeah, it is currently, we'll say, we go by Eastern. It's currently 8 p.m. Eastern. I will say it'll be going live by 9 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully you guys all can tune right back in. It will be here on YouTube. I might finish it out on my Twitch account. Because it might get a little PG, not so much by the end of it, but we'll see what happens. So, this will be the end. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you can stop on back in about an hour's time. Till next time, it's C4 saying peace out and fly, Eagles, fly.